Genesis, the Power Edge!
Watch it, buddy! Yes! It's the Atari! Sega! CD-ROM! New Nintendo!
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
Oh, you're gonna blow up the TV.
That was the first time I booted up our original Xbox. Back then, I was a sophomore in high school, going through a bit of an awkward phase. You remember those days, right? Bad haircuts, acne.
Yep.
Sure, I was a nerd. But I wasn't just any old nerd, no. I was a Sega nerd.
Sega!
In the early 2000s, it felt like Sega was in the middle of a comeback. They'd released their brand new console, the Sega Dreamcast, on $99.99, and it had everything a Sega fan could want.
Sonic!
Knockout titles like Sonic Adventure, Power Stone, and Shenmue had brought the company back into good standing with the general public and the true blue. You know, guys like Dad and I.
Tomb Raider on Dreamcast. Let's check it out.
Yep, the Dreamcast felt like coming home. That is, until the house burned down. In early 2001, Sega called it quits in the hardware business. The Dreamcast would be their final console, their swan song.
Looks like... Whoa, sorry. It's like...
For me, it felt like getting an unexpected phone call with bad news. It felt like I'd lost a friend.
アップ程度が実現できるタイトル編成を今具体的に
As time passed and healed all wounds, or so they say, gaming kind of lost its luster a little bit. The remaining final Dreamcast games were coming out, and though I enjoyed each one, it felt like a slow, painful death. Painful because we knew the console could have given us so much more. If not for Sony.
Metal Gear Solid Part 2, Sons of Liberty.
It was time to move on, but as we did, a strange thing happened. Microsoft, leader of the PC gaming world, decided to join the console wars.
And so, for the first time, let me now unveil Xbox.
It is truly the future of video games, and I'm very excited to simply be a part of it. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
We did. I gotta say, as hardcore Dreamcast fans, Microsoft's bid with the Xbox was pretty exciting. If you were even remotely a Sega Dreamcast fan, you recognize the fact that with some games, when you booted up your Dreamcast, a little logo that read, "Powered by Microsoft Windows CE" awaited you. That meant Microsoft had probably learned a thing or two from our favorite game companies. The Xbox was shaping up to be a console worthy of filling the void Sega left behind. And Dad was as excited as ever for the launch of a new console.
Gonna be a showdown.
On launch day, November 15th, 2001, Dad awaited my arrival home from school with camera in hand and the Xbox surprise of a lifetime.
Oh no, it must be Thursday, November 15th, because Tyler's on his way home, and so is Xbox. Yep, it came in to Funko Land. Xbox controller, Xbox, and some few games. A few little games. And wait till Tyler sees these.
This had to have been one of the most exciting times I ever had getting off the school bus. I had seen Dad over the fence with the camera in hand. It was Xbox launch day. I knew what was coming.
I saw you over the fence. Oh man. Check it out.
Oh, we got 4 games. Oh, yeah, that Dark Summit. Oh, man. When did you get it? In the morning?
It's a long story. But now it's time for games. Need to lighten up. Oh, you're gonna blow up the TV.
Booting up the Xbox for the first time felt like turning on a nuclear reactor. Just going through the setup process in the system's UI felt dangerous.
Pretty cool, huh?
I was taking my time, soaking it up. This was a brand new console, and I was going to spend the next 5 to 6 years of my life with this thing. We were getting acquainted with one another.
Xbox video game system from Microsoft. Copyright. Warning, this computer program is protected by copyright.
Dead or Alive 3. A lot of people forget that Halo wasn't the only killer app on the Xbox when it launched. Dead or Alive 2 was one of the Dreamcast showstoppers. A console exclusive at the time that was every bit as good, if not better, than the competition. We loved Dead or Alive 2, and this sequel stood as evidence in the case for Xbox being the spiritual successor to our friend the Dreamcast. It was the first game I booted up.
Tyler.
This is gonna be great. Whoa!
A little bit bigger than the Dreamcast, huh? Wouldn't you say?
God, it's gonna be unbelievable.
クリスティ、あなたがなぜエレナ様のお世話係？でも実はアサシン。始末しろってさ。
It's incredible, isn't it?
It was incredible. The Xbox had that X factor. Microsoft had come onto the home console scene with something special. And for a while, it really did help ease the painful loss of Sega that we'd experienced. For the next several years, I was Team Xbox.
Xbox. Yeah! Great! Great! Oh, man. Max Payne.
Oh, man.
Cool!
Microsoft had flipped the script on the video game industry, and they were here to stay.
Max Payne in the...
In 2005, I got an Xbox 360 for Christmas.
Xbox 360!
And you said it was gonna be impossible.
Finally.
Yay!
Now you can
Tyler, do not open it. We're putting it on eBay.
It was the last console I would get from Dad before he passed away.
Not just Perfect Dark Zero, it's the limited edition.
I think for me, the Xbox and the Xbox 360 will always be the consoles of my awkward years.
What are you doing?
Is that war?
War?
There were a lot of growing pains. but that was okay. It was a growing video game industry, with room for one more.
Oh, cool. Cool. That's awesome.
From Max Payne on Xbox to Headhunter on Dreamcast European in your pants.